Hello, lovely people. Psychic Debbie here, and my great friend Diane. We are the ghost hunting grandmas. Yay! So
Yay.
this is beautiful Diane, and we are connected to, like I said before, we're connected to Ghost Hunting Grandmas. That is our new YouTube channel, and it's our new product or company. I don't know what do you want to call it, Diane? It's
Well, it's our title of it's the name of our team, really.
yeah.
We're a ghost hunting team, and it's the
And
name of our team. We're the ghost hunting grandmas.
yeah, fantastic. Can you believe that that Diane is a grandma? So how many grandchildren do you have, Diane?
Oh my gosh. I think, oh my gosh. I think 12 grandchildren and maybe 5 great grandchildren.
See? She doesn't look it, does she? So I have 6, 2 from my daughter, 1 from my stepson, and then 3 from my stepdaughter. So, and mine ages range from what, 4 to 17, I think. And what does your age range go to?
Oh gosh. I'm thinking the youngest would be great grandchildren, and that would be um, 10 years old, and the oldest would be 35.
Wow. See? Fantastic. So we are the ghost hunting grandmas, and I would love to hear you beautiful people hear about how we met and why we're doing this. We're doing this because we are ghost hunting in a fun way, in a joy way. We're doing it with music and song and dance and being cordial to the spirits. And we notice, right, Diane, that we get a lot more EVPs, we get a lot more spirit connecting to us when we're joyful and happy and we're in song or music, or if we bring some happiness or joy to the area instead of this doom and gloom. We're not wanting to connect to lower entities.
Mhm,
And I'm always
mhm.
saying a prayer of, if anything of a lower entity or something that is of a lower vibration is not invited in our ghost hunts. And it's been working out pretty
Right.
good. What do you think?
Well, I think it works out great. I think a lot of people that do paranormal investigations are trying to see if the spirit world really exists, but we know the spirit world really exists. And rather than prove it or get a lot of attention from it, we're trying to connect and relate to the spirits. And I think that's the difference. So we kind of want to develop kind of some trust and relationship when we're there. And I think we treat them with respect, and I think we get the same in return.
That is fantastic. That's a good way of I couldn't have said it any better. I didn't say it any better. I think it's really good. I think it was a good explanation. I'm even kind of like, what?
Oh,
Oh, that's good.
come on. Oh,
But I
goodness.
mean, like when we were at the OK
Yeah.
Corral, we were doing dancing there, and we'll have a video about how our ghost adventure was on that. I mean, going to Arizona and driving there, and poor
Mm,
Diane was tired. And I mean, we could talk about so many of our ghost hunts that have been a lot of fun and joy. But even when we were dancing there, we heard coins being thrown at us. So check out our OK Corral video, because you can even hear in the background people throwing coins at us, and that's what they used to do in the
mhm,
Victorian times. So
mhm.
yeah, so we've had a lot of ghost adventures. We've also done a lot of history adventures like the Kensington Runestone, um, buildings. We look up a lot of history too. So we're not just into the ghost hunting, we're into a lot of the history. And like she said, creating a relationship with the spirits in a joyful, loving grandma kind of way. Do you know what I mean? Everybody
Mhm,
needs a grandma, even in the spiritual world. So
mhm.
remind us how we met, Diane, because Diane remembers more than I do. Because I bring information in my brain and I leave it. I have to because with my readings. So a lot of times I don't even remember what I say to someone yesterday. But once she starts talking, I'm going to remember and go, oh, yeah. So,
Well, we both know we met at the Palmer House.
right.
And for people that don't know about the Palmer House, it is a small hotel in Sauk Center, Minnesota. It has about 16 rooms, and it's been haunted. even in the 1800s, people felt it was haunted. So the host of the hotel, Kelly, what is Kelly's last name?
Freeze.
I'm forgetting right now.
Freeze.
Kelly Freeze. She is it Free?
Yeah, Freeze or something like that. Freeze.
Okay, thank you. Well, she does these ghost or paranormal investigations in the basement of the Palmer House, but you have to sign up ahead of time. So my grandkids and I had been to the Palmer House once, and we were really surprised with how much stuff we got in and our experiences. So we wanted to go back because we had never gone to the basement. So we signed up for a tour, and we were there, and there was only 3 other people there for this tour, and we expected like 25 people, but there was these 3 women in the corner of the cafe. And so we thought, wow, we're with these 3 women. Okay, this is cool. A smaller group is nice. And so Debbie kind of collected us together and asked us to all sit on one table. And that's when I got to meet Debbie and her friends, Karen and Karen's daughter, Andrea.
Right.
So Debbie, Kelly started with like a spiel about the Palmer House, but then we had a chance to introduce ourselves. So what do you remember about that moment, Debbie?
Well, I was trying to remember if I did a lecture that time, or was that the second time that I did the lecture? Was it the time that I did a lecture and that was later?
Yep, it was later.
Okay. So what I remember is I remember your grandchildren when we were downstairs, way in the back. They were against the wall, and I remember connecting with your grandchildren. I remember that, and I remember thinking, "Oh, she's really young. These are her grandkids. Is she sure these are her grandkids?" You know what I mean? We were trying to figure out what. Damn, she's young. So, and you look young, and that you were. I felt like I could connect with you guys instantly because we were like bantering back and forth. I know we were kind of like joking around when Kelly was talking, to the point where it was kind of like we were bantering and laughing. And I mean, she was laughing too, but it's kind of like, stop bantering so I could talk kind of thing, or otherwise you go to the principal's office kind of thing. So it was kind of like a joyful, we started with joy right away when we met each other. So that's what I remember. I remember being joyful and bantering back and forth, and how nice you and your grandchildren were. And because they were like in their teens, they were in their teenage. And I was thinking, oh, they're interested in this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we had a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old, and maybe a 20-year-old with us.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, because a lot of times I get it that they're interested, but I didn't know. It's kind of like, I want to be with my friends. I wouldn't want to be with my grandma, kind of thing. So I was like, I was pleasantly surprised with that. I was like, oh, this is great. This is cool. So that's what I remember.
Yeah, and isn't well, it's just kind of a side note. Isn't that what we all want, is for our grandkids to want to be with us, even though we're grandparents, and have that kind of relationship? Yeah, it's very special to be a grandma. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a funny story to tell about my first moments with you, Debbie.
Okay.
So you introduced yourself and said, well, you were a photo psychic, and I was impressed with that. And you just presented like you really had your stuff together, and they were very confident. And we went down to the basement, and I wasn't really sure about what to expect going down the Palmer House basement. And so I was a little bit on guard about the whole experience, because that was really new in the whole my ghost hunting career, let's say. And we went down into the basement, and what Kelly does is she turns off all the lights so you cannot see your hand this far in front of your face.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
So we're in the dark. No, you can't see anything. And Debbie, there was a doorway kind of behind and between us, and Debbie was 3 feet away on a folding chair, and I was on a chair just on my folding chair away from her. My mother had just died like maybe a month before, and so I wanted to connect with my mother, and I said, gee, Mom, in my head, I did close my eyes for a little bit, but I said, Mom, there's a psychic sitting right next to me in this basement. So, man, if you're out there and you want to connect with me, can you just say something to Debbie? And but at the same time, I didn't know you, so I didn't want to share my most intimate wishes or that sort of thing, because I only knew you for like 15 minutes. So I was a little bit guarded at the same time. So we're in the dark and I got my eyes closed. I'm saying, Mom, I know this isn't like the best place maybe to reach me, but look, you got this psychic right here. So we sit there and all of a sudden Debbie hits me on the side of the leg and scared me. And I'm like, what? And she said, who are you trying to reach? And I said, nobody. Because I don't know, I didn't really want to admit it to my grandkids maybe and have it be about my mom's death or whatever. And I said, oh, nobody. So I actually lied to Debbie Griggs. That was in my first 15 minutes.
And that's not something to do because she knows.
No, because you know what? It doesn't work with her. Let me tell you, it doesn't work. So then I'm sitting there for a while and I'm thinking, yeah, but this is such an opportunity. So I close my eyes again. And I can't see Debbie in the dark, but I got my eyes closed and I said, Mom, this is the last time I'm going to ask. And I sat there for a minute. All of a sudden, Debbie grabs me on the knee and she clutches my knee like this. And she said, your mother said she'll connect with you sometime, but not here and now in this basement. And I went, oh my God, this woman is so good. And I thought, oh, and shame on me for not being open and honest with her. And I was like, just struck by that she could pick all of that up. So that was in the first hour that I met you, that you read me and didn't put up with any baloney from me at all. So.
Yep. If I connect, I connect, I'm not saying that I'm this do all, get all medium. So that's why I don't usually a lot of times advertise my mediumship, because it's not a phone call. Do you know what I mean? You can't dial.
Yeah.
The energy that you were probably in with the grandkids and everything, the energy was obviously, or the vibration of your mother was like, okay, she keeps on asking me. So you just say something to her to make her quiet so that we can enjoy this ghost hunting adventure that we were on.
Yeah. And, I totally expected us to try to, see what we could see in the dark or feel in the dark and what spirits were at the Palmer house. But instead, what unfolded was that Debbie started picking up something from my grandkids across the room and did this huge long reading for them about their uncle that had died. And she knew details about his money, his insurance, the circumstances of his death. And this thing just went on. And she even said to my grandkids, your uncle tried to reach you one night at his, like, where he used to work. And just a few weeks before that, he was a fireman and he was a fire chief of this fire hall. And they had some sort of memorial or something for him. They walked by and the lights kept turning off and on outside where there was nothing wrong with the lights. And Debbie was able to understand that he had tried to connect just a few weeks before.
Showing a sign, that he was there. And then I brought in, I think it was in that one, because I bring this, I think his name is Francis, or this ghost that's really tall that wears this big hat. And I think he came in at that time too. He came in another time to me, and I kept on going, there's this tall guy and he's got a big hat on. And I feel like, and Kelly and someone else was doing the ghost hunting, was doing the tour, was like, we need to know what his name is. And I kept on saying Frank or Francis or something like that. And they found out it was like a Frank or Francis or Franciscan or something. I forgot what the name was, but it was like, yeah. And he showed himself to me at the Palmer House bar. He walked in the door there, scared the crap out of me, because I looked up and I saw him and I'm like, why isn't anybody else seeing him? Like, oh, there he is. I was trying to eat and it was hard for me to eat because I saw him, Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
And after when we left the basement, we all decided to do ghost hunting together, because there was, like, how many were there? There's 3 and 4, so 7. Sorry.
Yeah, there was
not
like
good at math, obviously. But anyways, so we were ghost hunting and I was recording and I had a spirit box. And do you remember who came out for you through the spirit box?
My dad just died not too long ago. He died that year, like a month or two ago. No, it was like, it was in the summertime. And all of a sudden she's doing a voice box and loud, and I don't know if you have that. If you have that, we could put it on this video. It said
Mhm.
Ted really loud, Ted really loud, and you're like, who's that? And I go, that's my dad. Because I didn't talk to my dad for 30
Mhm.
years before he passed away. And people
Mhm.
were wanting me to talk to him. And I was like, no. And that's a long story. And so I feel like he was trying to come through and just basically say, I'm sorry. And, the things that were happening. So he was there. Ted, I mean, it was loud.
Mhm.
It was
It
really
was
loud.
loud. It was crisp and clear, and it was totally separate from any radio or any other static. It just came searing through.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the next time I
And
met you, then I did a reading for you.
yeah, you did. And that was life changing for me, because I had been hanging on to a bunch of stuff that happened surrounding my mother's death, and it was amazing. I was, after the reading, I was able to let go of all that stuff. And
Yeah.
so that was pretty amazing too. That
But
was
we
really
had such a
cool.
good
And
time together that then I was like, let's have her join us in these other ghost hunts that we were doing. So,
mhm.
because did we do the second ghost hunt again back probably at the Palmer house, right?
Yeah, and so you were doing a gallery reading there,
Yeah.
and you were newer. You had always been looking for missing people and working with the police, but you were just starting to really publicize other talents, and so I knew you were going to be at the Palmer House. And honestly, I don't know if you know this, but I felt really awkward coming there that day because I was by myself. But I knew you were doing a reading, and I wanted to really support you in developing your career along, making it a little more diversified. And so I thought, I have to go. I just have to go. And I thought, but I feel so awkward because I'll have no one to be with. And I couldn't find anyone to come with me to this afternoon gallery reading. And you said, oh, come, we'll be there. It'll be fine. And so I got a hotel room. And I remember you greeted me with a hug, and I thought, okay, I think I'm okay here.
Yeah.
But then we had the gallery reading, and do you remember the really weird thing that happened at that reading
Yes.
with that from a spirit? Let's
Yes.
see what you
I was,
remember.
if people know the Palmer House and you go into the lunchroom, they have like a bar. It's not a drinking bar, but like the old cafes, you have the what do you call it? The balcony, not a balcony, but a
God,
place to sit up on top, like the Walgreens.
it's like a deli bar. I can't think of the word either,
I
Debbie.
know,
But we've
but
got
that's okay.
you have little stools all lined up at a counter. That's what we're
Counter,
talking about. A counter. Woo!
the counter. And so
So,
people were sitting there on the counter, and there was a pole. It's funny because there's like a pole in the middle of the room, and there's tables. There was a lot of people sitting around the table that was doing this gallery, because
mhm,
what I was doing is talking about my near death and how I connect to spirit and how it works with me when I do ghost hunting, and that
mhm,
spirit will talk to me. And like you said, all of a sudden readings come up and people come through and all that stuff. And so I was doing my lecture and helping people open up their third eye a little bit. And then I said, I'll give everybody a 1-question reading. And so I went up to somebody that was up on the counter, and they were facing this way. There was 3 people facing this way. And this
mhm,
one person was adamant that I was not going to be good at what I did. And that's my opinion. I think maybe it was because a friend of hers used to do this and she didn't want me to kind of conquer over or whatever. But this
mhm,
person was adamant about me not wanting to uh, get across. And so I said to the person, I said, wasn't there a female that had cancer? And she's like, nope. And
mhm,
I'm like, so I got, and spirit is, see, what people don't realize is, like, when I'm doing readings, spirit will be like ding ding ding, and I'll be like, and people say no, I'm like, I can't let it go, because spirit is going, no, they're wrong, you're right, I'm just a conduit, not me. Do you know what I mean? So it was like spirits going, no, she knows who I am. And um, I'm like, okay, they're really adamant that they know, you know, someone that had died of cancer, that had cancer. Nope, nope. She just did not want to listen. She was just like, nope. And then all of a sudden we heard, it's me, like that.
Yeah, and you guys, this was loud. There was like 35 people at this gallery reading. And this voice was so loud, but it sounded it sounded a little different, like airy, but really tinny in a way at the same time. And it came searing through, and there was this big voice. And, Debbie turned around, she said, "Who said that?" And she looked at us, and because I was with Karen and Andrea,
Right.
sitting with them at the table. And we said, "We didn't say it." And then I said, "I thought you said it." And Debbie said, "I didn't say it." And then we looked across at the people way behind, this big group of people in the way back, and they said, "We heard it loud and clear." So what do you call that when there's a voice that's a disembodied voice? That's what they call it. Where it's in the middle of the day when we least expected us, and here's this voice, "It's me." And of course, I'm kind of a little skeptic. So I got up eventually, and I turned around and talked to the hotel manager and said, "Is there someone in the kitchen?" Because the kitchen was behind. And she said, "There is no one in that kitchen, Diane. There's no one there." But eventually I got up and looked, and there was nobody there, because I just had to
everybody
check
was
it out,
like checking it to make sure that it was, and the person still was kind of like, oh, that could have been my da da da. Then she figured, then she kind of said who it was. It was like, because they just didn't want to believe in it. They just didn't want to believe in me or something. I don't know what it was, but to the point that the whole room was like, was it you? Was it you? Was it you? Even Kelly's like, I heard that. You sure it wasn't, you sure you don't know someone, Then finally, because everybody was like, yeah, we heard it. They finally went, okay, yeah, that was my aunt. She died or something like that. It was a woman, and it was a woman's voice, and it was very prominent. Do you know what I'm saying? So then people were really happy about us going down to the, because that group was, a lot of them were connected to the group of going downstairs and doing the ghost hunt. So, and people were like, you sit next to me.
Yeah, and I think that was in 2015. What is it now? So what is that, 6 years?
6 years ago.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think I've ever had that experience before with a disembodied voice, not one that's that loud and heard by 35 people. And I don't think I haven't had it since. I didn't have it before. And so I thought that was really cool. And you don't expect it with the sun shining through the windows on a winter day at 3:30 in the afternoon, but it was definitely there,
Yeah, and it was loud. And that's why I think where me and Diane are saying we like to do a lot of our ghost hunting without the lights being turned off. We like them on. We want the music. We want the dance. We want the laughter. And I've noticed, and we've both noticed with our ghost hunting, we have gotten more doing that than being quiet in the dark. Oh, and then or talking back to them and saying, you need to do this or you need to do that. And it's like, no. And we had it at the Malvern Manor to the point that Josh was like, we even have it on film where he's swearing like, holy shit, and it's in the middle of the day. It was always like at 6 p.m. It was bright light out. It was in the kitchen and we had the lights on. You'll have to look forward to that video down the road here, because we're going to put it up on our channel. But
are you a male?
Holy shit.
Thank you.
I mean, so we're realizing with us dancing and singing, even at the Christie house, we were dancing. Charles Lindbergh comes through. It's funny how, and then we had a host, James, that was singing. He was singing to George Christie, because it's at the Christie house. And he's kind of making up his own song, and George comes through and says, hi, you know what I mean? So that's the way we're doing our ghost hunts, is trying to be in the joyful place and the happy place. And it's so funny because it's the more that you say thank you or acknowledge them, the more spirit comes through. I have a video, and I feel like it was the time that I met you, but you don't hear your voice in it. And I'll put it up on our channel where I'm taking a video at the Palmer house in the snowman room. Okay. Downstairs. And Andrea, they called me Aunt Dee Dee. And she's like, Aunt Dee Dee, you got orbs all over you. So I told her to take a picture, and there was a bunch of orbs. So I turned around my phone and started talking to spirit, like going, thank you. Can you come out? You know, are you here? Da, 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 da. And every time I said thank you, I swear it was like a 4th of July of orbs going boom, boom, boom. And every time I'd say thank you, it'd come right to me. I mean, it didn't go up. It's not dust.
Yep.
It was not dust.
Yeah, no. And nobody was moving. There was no dust being thrown around. I mean, you know, if that were at the beginning, I could see, but it just went on and on and on. And you just kept saying, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
and,
the more we said thank you, the more the orbs and the entities or whatever you wanted to call it, I mean, it was just like coming to me. It was going in different ways. There was one that is like 3 or 4 going boom, boom, boom. You know, it was just crazy. And that's why we like to do it in a joyful way. There you go. Thank you. Having fun at the Palmer house. Ooh, big one. Ooh, good job.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We are going to have a lot more ghost hunting adventures coming up. And we are, like I said, with the history, we did ghost hunting at the Kensington Runestone. And why don't you tell them about the Kensington Runestone a little bit? You know more about it than me.
Well, you know, Debbie and I are also interested in the, you know, history's mysteries. So we were looking into the Kensington Runestone because it's a stone that was discovered in 1898 in Minnesota. And it talks about an expedition to Minnesota, but the date that's carved in the stone is 1362, which is 130 years before Columbus. And so we were just really into this and the history and the possible connection to Oak Island, which Debbie kind of got me interested in. And so we've been doing research. But what we learned about was that the family that discovered the stone just had a lifetime of tragedy because people thought they hoaxed it. And so we went to the family farm, and I believe we were the first person ever to investigate this family farm, which is now turned into a park. And we just stood outside, and we have like 14 really strong spirit box responses and EVPs. We have a flashlight that came on for us. And there's even one thing, Debbie, that you don't know about, that I'm waiting to surprise you about when you see the film.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yep.
I mean, just too. It's like, so, I mean, look forward to our new adventures. You know what I mean? We're going to try to do as many as we can. Like I said, we met together to do Arizona, the OK Corral. And it's funny how spirit, is it funny? I always say that. It's funny how spirit works, but really, is it funny? It's kind of like, yeah, the universe knows that you want to do this ghost hunt. When we went down to Arizona to do the OK Corral or the bird cage, we didn't even schedule to do a ghost hunt there. We just went up there and said, hi to Dee Dee, here we are. We want to do a ghost hunt. And they're like, so we're usually booked a year and a half. When would you like that? We're like, tonight or tomorrow? They're like, what? The guy's like, okay. It's the other guy, and he goes, well, I need to get, you know, was it Will or something? What was his name again? I forgot. And so he came, William, I think it was William. But
I hope we didn't butcher that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's okay. And so he came up, and we're like, he's like, I don't know if we can do it tonight, but I have to get a friend of mine to see if she will do hosting for you, because we were going to spend there the whole night. They have ghost hunting tours or whatever, you know, like an hour or whatever, and you pay $20 and then you go through the tour and you see the place, which is great. But we wanted to do the ghost hunt, and lo and behold, it was open. They were like, yep, this Karen, wonderful host. She's like, well, she's available. Let's do it. So, and we were so fortunate. Like I said, we had a lot of cool things happen there. And then, and Diane came over and a bunch of us girls did another place here in California. We did a ghost place there and a tavern. We did a tavern there. And then she would go back to Minnesota. So I live in California right now and Diane's in Minnesota. That's why we're having the two-way here. But I go to Minnesota usually twice a year for my grandchildren. Here we go with the grandkids. And my beautiful granddaughter Mackenzie has a birthday in the spring, and my outgoing, rambunctious Nate, he's 4. His birthday's in November, so I'd always come for their birthdays and then do these ghost hunting things with Diane. So it's a great adventure. We want to do more of it, hoping to do more and go around the states. But we're not just doing the ghost hunting where most people are doing it. Like the Christie House is connected to Charles Lindbergh. We wanted to connect with them. He did come through. We're wanting to do history mystery too, but in a joyful way. So it's kind of like there's certain places that we want to connect to. I'd like to do Judy Garland's house up in Minnesota. Where is that? Up in the International Falls, isn't it? Or something up there? It's north.
No, it's like, I want to
Everybody's
say
screaming
Park
the answer
Rapids,
right
but
now.
that's not it. It's not Park Rapids. I just can't think of the town right now, but it's up toward that way. So like northwest Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful lake country up there though. But
Right.
so yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I would love to do that. And her shoes, her from the Wizard of Oz, her red slippers were stolen from there. So maybe we could do a ghost hunt and get some answers. That's why we're doing the Kensington. We need to get some answers. So we're not only bringing joy to them, but we want to find maybe some answers to some mysteries that haven't been resolved. Because I help find missing people, and I'm very good at finding missing people if they want to be found and connect. So it's like I could talk to the spirit and Diane's really good with history, psychology, and talking and connecting with them also. So I think we're a good package together to do this, and we're in joy, right? We're in joy, and I love it. I love it. If it's like I could make a living doing this, I'd do it. You know what I mean? In an instant. So
yeah, well, I know there's a T-shirt that says "Ghosts are people too."
yeah.
And when you think of it, I mean, I do think there's probably different entities other than coming from deceased people too, like, I don't know, angels or whatever. But when you think of it, if a lot of them were people that lived lives, then they were human, and they're going to still have some kind of human tendencies. And if you walk in a crowd full of people, who are you going to be attracted to? The people that say, "Who are you?" and
Right.
and greet you like kind of aggressively and try to tease some reaction out of you? Or are you going to want to react to someone that says, "Hey, we're fine, and we're loving, and we're compassionate, and we're not here to make things more irritating for you, but please come talk with us if you'd like." I mean, you would gravitate more toward those people, So
Right.
that's my theory, is that first of all, I think that spirits are more drawn to people that are more able to connect. And I think, of course, a psychic medium like Debbie Griggs, yes, they're going to be more drawn. I also have a granddaughter named Allie, and she's a sensitive, and she's just really sweet with how she relates to spirits. And so I do think she attracts spirits as well. I don't know if I call myself a sensitive, but I think I'm more open than most people.
Right.
So of course there are people that get more interaction just because of who they are and their psychic abilities. But beyond that, it's really how you treat them, I think, just like with human beings. So,
Yeah.
and we think they'll understand if we laugh. We don't laugh at them, and that's kind of the difference. We don't tease or make fun.
Right.
We try to be compassionate at the same time. So
We sing with them, we dance with them, we laugh with them. Even like the Malvern Manor, there was that Gracie that has, I don't know how many personalities, and she came through because I feel like it was because we were joyful and connecting, and she turned on a flashlight and even said, excuse me, they make my nose itch. I'd rather be on the bed, because we were talking about the bed, and she's like, "I'd rather be on the bed," We're like, "Oh yeah, never thought of that," because she's in a wheelchair. And so it's funny how beautiful entities or people that you would think is scary or not understanding will connect with us because we feel like we're being grandmas. We're being grandmas. We understand. We're getting to their level and saying, if you want to connect, great. If you don't, great too. Do you know what I mean? So we're not forcing them
Absolutely.
to connect. And it's funny how other entities or other spirits come through. Just like at the Christie house, we got son-in-laws. It's like, where did they come from? To the point that even James is like, well, I heard he visited a lot, and it turns out it was a brother-in-law or whatever like that. So I feel like we draw a lot of people to us. Like when we do ghost hunting out at the churches, we could be outside. We don't have to be inside. We can be outside, like at the Kensington Ruinstone, at the Nest Church, at other places. We've had a lot of connections, and I'll ask them, what is it you want? Remember at the Nest Church, it's like, what do you want? And what did she say?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't remember. I remember. But we were in a van because we were waiting because we weren't really supposed to be there. We didn't want to trespass, but we were in a parking lot, so we were really okay. But there was this car. We were waiting for this car to leave because we were kind of creeped out that they were there and they weren't leaving.
They were,
so we were waiting.
They were doing something. We didn't know what they were doing, but they were creepy.
I don't know. Like, who parks at an abandoned church with no town within like 15 miles in any direction and parks in this little teeny parking lot at a church at night in the dark and doesn't leave? I mean, I don't know. And maybe they were waiting for us to leave, but they never acted like they wanted to do like a paranormal investigation either. But we were sitting there. So Debbie said, well, we might as well start our investigation right here in the van. So we had like 6, 7 people. Debbie and I are in the front of the van. We turn on all of our equipment and we're getting our flashlights ready. We finally get all set and we got the spirit box on and I'm recording. And Debbie said, okay, I'm here. What do you want me to know? And clear as a bell through the spirit box, it said, we want to go home, like that.
Yeah.
Just nothing on either side, clear as a bell. We want to go home. And it was just like, oh, it just broke your heart,
It was like, oh.
I'm here. What do you want to tell me? I want to go home. That was. You want to go home? Oh.
See, here's the grandma thing. And most people don't ask that when you're ghost hunting. What is it you want? It's almost like they're wanting the ghost hunters, and I'm not cutting other ghost hunters down. That's not what I'm doing. That's not, we're not the do all end all. No, this is just the way we work. This is the way we go for it. Do you know what I mean? And yes, they've gotten a lot of signs and symbols and, EVPs and apparitions? Of course they did. But I feel like we're kind of like the ghost hunters or ghost nations. They're soft. They don't sit there and, we need to have dark entities or whatever. I kind of like their style too. And you're a debunker also. So you like to debunk. You'll be like, well, Debbie, the heater's on, or Debbie, that could be a car, or you not in a skeptical way, but you like to debunk it because
well, and I can be really irritating to be with, because I'm always saying, well, that could be this and that could be that, but it's just kind of the way I think. So
yeah, and I think that's good because it makes you look at it in a different way. Like you'll see in the Malvern Manor video that we're going to be putting up there, for whatever reason, Spirit told me to bring paper towel roll, not with the paper towel on it, but that centerpiece. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
Paper towel roll.
Just the cardboard roll. Yeah.
The cardboard roll. And they said to bring it to the kitchen and bring it in the house. And we'll probably show that part where I'm hitting them, like when you're kids, you hit each other, bang, bang, bang with it. And I'm playing with it. And for some reason, Spirit said, start taping. So I'm taping this with my iPad, not with a video camera or anything like that, any real good quality stuff. But I put the paper roll there, and you don't see maybe a little snippet of it where someone could say, and Diane goes, well, people are going to say that you had a string on it or you had it. And I'm like, but there wasn't, you know, it's rolling the opposite way. So we're looking at it, and which is good. It's a good way to, oh, I just saw an orb go right in front of my face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's like, you know what I mean? I was like, well, it's rolling in. If someone had a string, it would roll out, but it's good to debunk it. Plus there was a heater on, and she was like, the heater's on. And I'm like, well, I kept on looking at it, and the heater wasn't rolling constantly. And when the heater was off, it still rolled. But it's good to debunk. It's good to say, oh no, that was my voice, or that was James' voice, or that was, you know, Karen's voice, or whatever. And so we don't just the way we ghost hunt, we do debunk it. We do see if it's something else or somebody else, or, you know, person, place, or thing. But we definitely do it with joy and laughter. We laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Were you a nurse? Look at the thing just rolled. Did it? Look at it. And the light's flashing. Something's flashing. Do you see it?
Yeah. And just to kind of make a point you've kind of already made here is that if something dark does seem to come up, or we get really creeped out, a lot of the other ghost or paranormal investigators will invite that, but we actually say, go away, please. We don't want to deal with you. And that, I think, makes us different than a lot of other teams too, because we really don't want to have a negative experience or leave something negative there for other people to encounter, you know, too. So so when that happens, Debbie has a saying and a prayer that she uses to kind of push them away and invite more of the positive spirits to come forward.
Yeah. We want to help the spirits. I'm not saying that I'm going to help them go to the other realm, because I don't think people can really do that, but that's my opinion. We can help them, and we can connect with them and bring them joy, and ask, what is it you need, or what is it you want? Just like that spirit says, I want to go home. Okay, we'll pray for you so that you can go home, that maybe your mom comes and collects you, or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? But we try to communicate with spirits, and maybe in a different perspective of like, it's okay that you hang around. It's okay that you stay here, but we're going to bring you joy and laughter too. So like at the Christie house, I mean, the music, we played music for hours there. Hours. You were playing the piano. Diane's really good at music. She plays all these different instruments. I'll sing. That's about it for me, singing. No instruments. You don't want me to. I don't know if you want me to sing either. But it was funny because the K2 just kept on going and going and going and going and going. It was almost like it wore us out. We're like, okay, we're done with the music. We need to stop, because I feel like they would have been with us 24/7 for a long time, because they wanted that joy. Maybe it's a good time in their life or whatever. And that's the way we want to do it. We want to do ghost hunting so someone that's 10 or, you know, 110 could watch it and be with us and ghost hunt with us. And this is how we met, and this is what we're trying to present to everybody, you know, that watches our channel or watches our videos or whatever. And for us too, connecting with them. So I feel like that's fantastic. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, we do it on our own terms.
Yeah, we do it on our own terms.
We're not trying to please a certain population. We do it on our own terms.
Yeah.
And we're successful.
Yeah. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And we want to go into a lot of adventures and doing things. So if you're watching this and you have places that you want us to check out, you know, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. If you want to donate, you know, you can. We got Ghost Hunting Grandmas. Our email is ghosthuntinggrandmas and gmail.com, or you can do Psychic Debbie Griggs. We have donations there. I have a donation page there if you want to donate and say, go here or come to our house or whatever. Because I mean, I could even connect maybe to the person that's passed. Maybe your grandmother's passed and she's in the house and you're like, I don't know what she's trying to tell us here. We could do a ghost hunting, communicating like mediumship, but also doing ghost hunting, and maybe some other spirits come in, you know, connecting to it. So we love doing that too. So, but
Yeah, and we've got some, you know, we've been ghost hunting together for many years now, but we didn't always document everything. We would record, but not really try to put it together with video anything. So we're doing that, and we've been doing that for the last few years. And so we've got Debbie's got some tapes of the Palmer House, which are really great. And then we've got the Birdcage Theater that's either up or going to be up on our Ghost Hunting Grandma site. Then we got the Christie House, which is in Long Prairie, Minnesota. And we're also going to have the Kensington Runestone Family Farm, which is the Olaf Ullman Farm. And also then Malvern Manor in Iowa, which was the only place that really creeped us out, at least at the beginning.
Yeah.
And where we had probably our best visual evidence ever. And so we've got a lot more coming. It's just Debbie and I, and we live in 2 different states. So it takes us longer to maybe pull together some of these videos, but it's coming. It's coming real soon, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. Because did we even, what was it? The Sandpiper, the sand, remember we drove all the way down to the bottom of Minnesota. What was it? Sand. And that lady owned that hotel.
Pipestone.
Pipestone.
Pipestone. It was the Calumet Hotel, and if you look up online, you're going to be amazed because they have quarries there where the Indians would take. I think Calumet is the stone, beautiful stone, and they made this castle-looking hotel. And there's also a really spiritual state park there that the Indians have, where the Indians all took the stone for their peace pipes. But if you look that up online, you'll be like, wow, that place looks really cool. So I haven't even looked at our tapes from them.
I know, and we got tapes from everywhere that we're putting together for you lovely people. So, but like I said, if there's places like definitely in Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, because we did Iowa, or even around California, or like Arizona or Nevada that you think that we need to do. And there's other states that we're going to work up to so that we can do all the states. We want to go east too, because of the Kensington Ruin Tomb and Oak Island and the temples there and all that stuff. So, because we want to do history also,
Yeah.
Or even if it's a missing person, if it's a ghost hunting missing person, which I'm doing with a friend, Hannah, we're going to be doing a missing person channel too. But the 3 of us could be going together where it's like ghost hunting, but also trying to find somebody at the same time, using a new technique, a new way of connecting to the spiritual realm. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where are you? And we could, maybe they say we're by that stone, or we're not there, we're somewhere else or something like that. So there's cool concepts that we're trying to create and bring to the world and help the world be a better place and being enjoyed too. I love it. I love it. So any parting words you want to say, Diane?
No, I feel like I pretty much said it all. I just feel we have a bright future, and I think we're going to learn a lot, and I think other people are going to learn a lot from our videos as well. So I'm just excited about it.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited. I'm grateful that I met Diane. Like I said, is it a coincidence? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? Did we know each other probably in another dimensional life? Probably. Because we connected too fast.
As long as you bring that up, there's just these really weird coincidences about Debbie and I. And it's just these really weird things or things she's done that I've also done. So if I found out she was my long lost cousin that left from someone that left my family a million years ago, I would not be surprised. And I can't think of like the 4 things that we had in common that went before this, but I know the thing that really tipped it off was that we were actually at the Kensington Runestone Museum, and she told me she used to have a teepee in her yard. And I'm like, I used to have a teepee in my yard. I had one made by the Ojibwe, Blackfeet Indians from Montana. And it was actually, 28 feet tall and 13 feet wide. And we used it all the time. And then she's like, I've had a teepee. And I'm like, what kind of people buy a teepee and use it in their backyard? I mean, a
Right.
real teepee and have a
Plus-
fire in it and all this stuff, you
Right,
know?
plus yours
And I
was
thought
from the
this-
Blackfeet, and my cabin, I have a cabin that my dad built in the 1970s, is in the
Mhm.
Blackfoot area in Montana.
Mhm.
There's a Blackfoot
Yeah.
reservation is right there. So it was kind of like
Yes.
doo 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 kind of thing, you know what I mean? It was those kind of
Yeah.
coincidences that would come through like, okay, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
very
So
cool.
it was just, that was the one coincidence that made me go, okay, I need to pay attention to 4 that came before this and this, because this is just weird, you know? But yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a good thing. I'm not gonna question it. I'm just gonna keep rolling along here.
Yep, yep,
So-
yep, yep. So I want
Okay.
to say thank you to you beautiful, beautiful people for listening and connecting. And like I said, look forward to some more videos and enjoy the videos that we have up. And like I said before, if you have places that you're interested, or there's a missing person that you think that we need to find, ghost hunting or some kind of history, mystery that you need us to do, then put it in the comments. You know what I mean? Get a hold of us. Maybe we can do it. Maybe that would be really cool. I think it would be a lot of fun to connect and help other people and bring joy and laughter, not only in this realm, but the other realm. And like my son said, spirits need grandmas too. So here we are,
Mhm.
not just
Mhm.
grandmas in this realm, but in the spiritual realm. And we'll coddle you.
Mhm.
We'll protect you. We'll make you be happy that, you know, connecting with us. So
Exactly.
I love it.
Super.
So, okay, well, thank you,
Okay.
beautiful people. I want to give you blessings and smiles. And then until next time, we will do some more videos about our adventures. That will come up next. So thank you and blessings and goodbye.